are changing, and I'm just like, yeah, it is what it is. I'm like, here's where I am, Nino. I'm like, we're just going to revert back to the legislation until the legislation fixes. It's about search warrants and stuff. Like it's, you know, they're saying that, you know, and it's like, but like, I mean, you know, the previous justices were just hand wavy with shit, and so standards slipped. And I'm
there
like,
was
until
no
we
standard.
can fix
It was,
yeah.
yeah.
So I'm just like, until we can fix the legislation, we're just going to revert back to the old legislation, and those are the standards, right? And that's it. It's pretty simple, but you know, to them, it's the end of the world because they've got a couple of no's.
People's inability to see that the government is changing and expecting that, I don't know. PD has not proven itself to be a equal player yet. So I think they need a little bit of self-reflection.
Yeah.
So, however, okay, well, is there anything that I need to be made aware of? Because I'm sure I'll be. Well, I need to understand.
Yeah,
I'm looking for your perspective, so that when I hear PD's perspective, I have like a, you know, I can make a, you know, if I need to have an opinion, I can have it understanding both ends.
Okay, so the basic gist of what occurred was there were a couple of search warrants that were put up, right? A judge told the officer no. Well, a magistrate told the officer no. That officer then didn't like the no and called in like all the justices for a conversation. They did a conversation about it. Then they went to Bailey. Then Bailey got upset and went to Turner. Then
that
they
the
all
warrant got denied?
A couple of warrants got denied, yeah.
Denied or overturned?
Just denied. Just a no-go rearticulate.
Okay.
Yeah.
And now they're saying what? We can't get them for free?
I mean, now it's like standards are changing. Everybody's morale's destroyed. Nobody knows what the fuck they're doing. Everyone's unhappy.
Everyone's morale.
If you want us to go to court and things, we need to understand why and what's happening. And then there was a conversation about BAFs because they feel like, you know, the standard for BAFs isn't probably outlined. And I'm like, it's a one-line thing in the legislation, which basically says cars have to be used in a violent crime because they want to be able to charge, you know, every interference vehicle, every swap vehicle with the same underlying violent crime pending from a robbery. It's a little cooked. I'm going to be real with you.
They want to charge every... Wait, but why can't they? I'm confused.
Right. Okay. So the legislation states, right, that in order to get a VAF, the vehicle has to be used in a violent crime. That's the wording in the legislation, right?
But
so took a VAF appeal and dismissed it based on it being, you know, a secondary vehicle that kind of joined after the fact and was never involved in anything violent, right?
Like, did it pick up? Like, what did the car do?
It was a pickup after the fact, right? So it's like obstruction of justice, right, with the underlying crime attached to it.
I actually disagree.
I don't disagree in principle, right? I don't disagree in principle, but like what I said to them was like, if it was me, if I was prosecuting, I'd push that charge, right? But I'd understand that I have to articulate why it's attached to a violent crime, right?
Like it picked up a shooter, in that situation. Or it, you know, may have hit a officer that was chasing a vehicle that had shooters in it. It is then, per that, used in a violent crime.
In the violence crime, yeah. That's one thing. I'm like a serious lawyer, like I said, like I could articulate it, Bailey could articulate it, but like your average officer,
that's not fair. No. I cannot listen to that. Grayson, I love you. We cannot say you need me, you, or Bailey.
No. I agree with that, right?
Yeah.
But like what I'm saying is right.
I have some faith in people's like we need. Sorry, go ahead.
Right. So what I'm getting at, right? Like the whole point was this. Like if this ends up in court, you've still got to prove it, right? Which means you've got to know how to articulate it. And I'm like I'll give you 5 seconds of defense attorney here, right? And the defense attorney is going to say to you something along the lines of, well, my client was only involved in like obstructing justice. They did this. They had no part in any violence. Violence occurred at the
justice
scene.
that was being obstruction by de facto of admittance, they obstructed justice on a violent crime. Like what? I'm confused. But you know what it is actually is the like PD for some reason does not recognize that obstruction of justice is if you can't prove they're accessory to the root crime. Anyway, sorry.
Accessory only accomplice, right? It's about can you articulate accessory after the fact or even before the fact, or you know what being on the radio with somebody means. Like all of those things. They're failing at that basics. And like I'm offering to teach. I'm offering to like get them involved in all the lawyer training we're going to start doing.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, look, I'd charge it, Bailey'd charge it, but like, are you going to be able, like, will it always stick depending on how it's articulated in court? I don't think so. Depending on who's articulating, I don't. And you've seen it. I know. You go to a lot of.
I guess I do, but I'm very confused. I would never, as a defense attorney, I would never take a case if someone said I got in this other vehicle after shooting up people. That vehicle that you got into should not. I'm missing context because I don't know what the articulation looks like. But
yeah, it's all over the place.
So why and this if there's lack of clarity in legislation, why are they not pushing an update?
But this is what I'm saying. Like, it's my understanding that Ventura and Juan Carlos Hernandez had gone through arbitration. They'd sat down and talked. And like, I was told someone told me that like Ventura's second draft was basically ready to go. So I'm like, this law could be different in a week. So I'm like, and Turner's there sitting saying, hey, yeah, and actually we address all this accessory. We address all these like, you know, the secondary vehicles getting involved.
It's not. Ventura's thing is probably nowhere near that. You know why?
Okay. Why?
How would it be? I haven't seen it. Do you get what I'm saying?
Uh-huh.
How is it anywhere near ready when I haven't even seen the first draft? I might look at it and be like, this draft to my dick. You know what I mean?
But like,
literally, all they need is a bill that expands on what It sounds to me that there's confusion. This is why the bills exist. If the legislation is not clear enough, then you can add clarity through a bill.
Yeah. That's my point. My point was whole like if the legislation needs fixing, the legislation's currently actively being fixed. Look at it, right? Because I knew Turner was involved, and I knew he was one of the underwriters. Like, and he's in the room, so he knows. I don't know. It felt like they just wanted to argue about some other stuff. It is okay. What it is, Nino. Honestly, well, I think
we all want the same thing, but the problem is getting there requires people to actually do the work, and no one does the work, minus like 5 people.
Yeah.
And I had spoken about this. I keep trying to bring it up, but listen. The problem is we're dealing with one button push versus doing it right, and that's the problem. People just want they don't want. I hate like the amount of times I hear wah, 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 wah. I'm like 3-sentence bill go. Like literally that's it. I cannot write everything for everybody. Like it's not hard.
Yeah.
If so I like, get it, like I want my pogs too. You know what I mean? Like
so. Turner wanted a timeline on the search and seizure thing, and I'm like, dude, like I'm gonna get you an invite, like I'm like to the sit down because I know you've got input that you want to have on that legislation when it gets rewritten. He's like, so, but when? And I'm like, we're gonna arrange some meetings, we're gonna get some sit downs. Like, there's a lot of cooks who want to get involved in this.
1 second.
But hey, he wants it like tomorrow.
Do you need a ride, sir?
Oh no. Do you need a ride?
No. Is everything all right?
Oh sure. How you doing?
I'm doing all right. You're not doing that thing with the trench coat, are you? Oh.
You talking to Costello?
There's some guy with a fucking trench coat and his fucking underwear.
Jesus Christ. What's
Am
the
I
city
doing
coming
what thing
to?
with the what?
No, nothing. You enjoy yourself.
Happy holidays.
What the actual fuck did I run
Do we need like public indecency laws, like real ones?
I think that it is more efficient and cheaper for PD to start pushing one-line changes. Like literally, in that 1 hour, one person could literally be like, write up a bill. I feel like the more I make the system easier, the more people don't want to do it.
It's wild, right?
And I think if you want me to be genuinely all honest, and this goes across the board, is that I think that we've made things significantly less convoluted and easy. Yet people are spending more times complaining instead of doing the easy thing, which in this case is this bill aims to address confusion over what VAF is and like what a vehicle in a violent crime is or is not. This bill aims to establish that and detail and there'll be one line change. Add to VAF legislation any vehicle that is obstructing justice or whatever will be included. Boom, done. Right? And now now you can actually debate.
Half naked.
He's in the military base.
Oh, no. No, it's Carmine walking into PD half naked. Look, what's
I don't know. It's like Naked Day, maybe. I don't know. Anyways. Okay, I'm glad to get your perspective. I will try to re-emphasize that. I think if they're rewriting the entire... Huh?
You know what they would... Right, so think about all the problems we've had with the justices for the past 6 months, right? Turner basically wants me to either rewrite the search and seizure legislation myself and just put it forward so it gets done. He wants a justice to write the law. Or he wants us to just pass case law from the most recent search and seizure warrant overturned to establish through the poisonous tree, regardless of when it was, because he just wants it. It's like everything we've been fighting against. Said? Oh, can you hear me?
No. Sorry, you were like, I couldn't. Sorry. I didn't really understand what you were saying the last couple of sentences.
So Turner asked me, right, if I could just get the search and seizure legislation written so he can get assessed and put in, right? Because he just wants it done. He wants it done now, right? We were like asking a justice to rewrite the law. Kind of funny, right? Considering that's who we've just gone through. And then secondly, he wants. Well,
you could, in theory, you could do it.
But then it goes through.
And then it goes through us. Yeah. But okay.
But yeah, I still thought it was funny, right? Like asking one of the new justices to just go home, write some laws.
No.
And then the second one was, can you set case law off the last search and seizure thing that got overturned?
Oh my God, that needs to stop happening. It is. They cannot, that is not how case law works.
I know.
By asking you to do that, I would argue
it wasn't my case. It's not my case. So I haven't sat on one of those panels. I just thought it was a little wild, you know?
I feel like I need to sit down and explain. Yeah. I think it's because, to be fair, I think you have to keep in mind that, Voldemort and her disciples have for quite some times indoctrinated the PD with a perspective that those things were actually okay, right? Or normal. And so as a consequence, there's still some semblance of that lingering, right? That justices are legislators, right? And that and it's that we are so behind on the understanding of basic civics that we need to reintroduce it. Right, we were in a good spot, let's say at the end of like 7 years ago when before shit collapsed. I think we were at a spot. It then got hyper degraded, right? First we had the dictator mayor, right? Who's the legislative authority and the commissioner and the this and that. And then instead of things growing, we had immediate abuse of the system by justices, right? And then, and so now we're sort of, I don't know, we just, okay. We'll figure it out. We'll figure it out.
Yeah, I mean, what I said to
this isn't hard.
I said, like, here's the thing. I can write up a draft. I can get a draft ready. I can arrange the meetings, and then everybody else gets their thumb in the pie too, right? Because it's like, it's a collaborative effort from here on.
I think what needs to happen first, Grayson, is let's not even overcook. Literally, with the new bill system, take the current existing search and seizure and reformat it so it's legible.
That would help.
I think that's honestly the first thing that should be done. And let's go, we can get that in.
And then just line by line item
and then, yes, through the bills, Grayson. That's what the bills are for, right? Don't, and this is a problem with whatever the fuck they're doing with Ventura, is that we should never, ever, 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 ever go and fully rewrite massive documents, because it ends up sitting in review limbo forever. Instead, you write one bill that tackles one article in the entire document, right?
I don't hate it. I'm going to be real. I think I might be a better worker. It might be less obstructive for people who aren't me, you, and Michael to just need to rewrite entire pieces of legislation, right?
It's not good for us. It's not good for us either. Like, I have that internally problems, right? Where it's like you agree with a change to Article 1, but you want to debate Article 4. That means Article 1 ends up being stuck in limbo, right?
True.
Instead,
I mean, how often does like a whole piece of legislation get held up because of one line?
Exactly. That's exactly it. And so if a legislative document has so much shit in it, right? You're just asking for it not to get passed, right? This is literally what happens in the U.S. Congress.
Oh, yeah.
Except they counter it by putting in earmarks.
No, actually, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Maybe we should just try that with this. Maybe it's a good case study to just get it done.
I wouldn't even say try it. I'm not even going to accept it if it's not like that. You know what I mean?
That's fair.
Yeah.
That's
I think...
I know. So what I'll do is I'll outsource that and get somebody to break it down into
articles and sections.
Articles and sections. Okay, cool.
So it should be like Article 1. This area of like Article 1, like phones, maybe 2 property, whatever it is. I haven't taken a look at it, but each article should be the thing is search and seizures. An article is like a subject, right?
And I will literally the note will be make it look like the bills,
or make it look like take a stab at it. And I can always go in and like put some early guidance if needed. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, I'll get you involved straight away. Okay, thanks,
easy.
Nino. I'll talk to you later.
Beautiful. All right, brother. Take care.
Bye.
No, they can have a meeting on it. I think we just need education classes. I think that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to create legislators. We just need to do that. I think once we're done over this hurdle, I just want to push this stuff out so that we have examples out there, like, because